This wedding is a clown show! Her voice sliced through the chapel, louder than the music, sharper than the blade she carried in her tongue. My sister-in-law, red-faced, trembling, her hands balled like she was the one betrayed. "You're marrying a nobody, just a pathetic valet!" Gasps, murmurs, heads turning like vultures circling a wound. She stormed down the aisle, dress sweeping behind her like a curtain closing on civility. My bride's fingers trembled in mine. Her whisper was for me alone. "Should we tell them who you really are?" I squeezed her hand. My voice was calm, steady, anchored. "Be patient, because truth revealed too early is wasted." The ceremony went on. Smiles forced, vows spoken through the echo of her screech. Applause muted, poisoned by suspicion. Later, at the reception, her family hovered near each other like predators tasting blood. Their eyes flicked to me, dismissive, mocking. A valet, a fraud, a man beneath their name. But they didn't know the truth, and more importantly, they didn't know I knew theirs. Her brother's gambling debts, hidden under layers of false accounts. Her father's offshore transfers, bleeding the company dry. Her mother's polished smile masking forged donations that never reached charity. Secrets stacked like dynamite, waiting for a match. The irony was delicious. They thought I was the outsider, the unworthy intruder. They had no idea the walls were already closing in. I played the role well, quiet, polite, the hired help they believed I'd always been. But behind the mask, I collected. Documents, bank records, screenshots, conversations overheard in half-whispers they thought were safe. Every night, while they congratulated themselves on another day of survival, I stitched the threads together. Their family wasn't a fortress, it was a rotting house. I just leaned against the beams and listened to the wood groan. Still, patience was required. A misstep could give them time to cover, to erase. I smiled at them over champagne glasses, toasted their good fortune, laughed at their jokes. Meanwhile, the storm grew in silence. My bride noticed my calm, mistook it for resignation. She asked again one night, her voice cracking, "Shouldn't they know who you are, what you've built?" I kissed her hand. "Not yet, because revenge requires timing, and timing requires restraint." The night came like any other. A family dinner, laughter brittle, wine poured too quickly. Halfway through the meal, I rose, slid a folder onto the table. Her father frowned, irritation flashing. "What's this?" "Truth," I said. He opened it. Bank transfers, names, numbers, dates, offshore accounts bleeding his empire into ruin. His face paled. Another folder slid across, to her brother. Gambling debts itemized, creditors listed, interest compounding like a noose. His jaw clenched, knuckles white. A third landed before her mother. Fake charity documents, signatures forged in her perfect handwriting. The room collapsed into silence. Their eyes darted between the pages, then to me. "You?" her father whispered, rage and fear colliding. "Yes," I said softly, "me." They expected me to scream, to demand apology, to claw for recognition. But I did none of that. I simply laid down the final card. My name isn't Valet. It never was. The company you think is yours, it isn't. The board already knows. The documents are filed. By sunrise, every one of you will be finished. Her mother gasped. Her brother cursed under his breath. Her father's hands shook, as though the weight of his empire was already falling. I sat back down, took a sip of wine. My voice was calm, surgical. "You tried to humiliate me at my own wedding. But understand this." I leaned closer, my eyes on each of them in turn. You were already ruined. I just waited for the perfect stage. Later, I walked out into the night with my bride's hand still in mine. She looked up at me, searching for the man beneath the mask. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" she asked. "Because knowing too early only hurts," I answered. "And I needed you untouched by their poison." Behind us, the house that once held their pride now held only silence. They thought tonight would mark my humiliation. Instead, it marked their extinction. I felt no pity, no anger, just clarity. And as the night swallowed their cries, I whispered only to myself. They thought I was nothing, but nothing is exactly what's left of them.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.